Hey, and welcome back to the channel, and thank you for all the ways that you support my channel. Today, early on, I was thinking about this series on conflict and disharmony between men and women. The question was originally posed for men and women, but as you know by now, it's, any kind of romantic relationships, friendships, important relationships, and why they break down, why there's conflict. And today, I want to talk about the role that withholding plays in that. There's this saying, we're only as sick as our secrets. And basically, I think that any relationship, romantic or friendship or family, is bound to be sick or dysfunctional when people aren't sharing what they need to share. And people aren't willing to be vulnerable and speak what's in their heart, or if they've made a mistake, or they've had a misunderstanding. So I have just seen over the years the amount of damage that can be done in a family, in a friendship, in a partnership, when one or both people is not speaking, is not speaking their truth, is not bringing to the table what needs to be brought to the table. And whether that's because there's a conflict that's already happening, or they're having thoughts or ideas or feelings that they're uncomfortable with, and they're afraid to bring those things up to prevent conflict. But in the end, it does no good, keeping secrets from your partner, big or small, not sharing on a daily basis or on a regular basis will deteriorate, will chip away at the intimacy of a relationship. And even friendships have intimacy. I mean, there's a certain amount of mental and emotional intimacy within a friendship and within close family ties, just as there is in a romantic relationship. And I remember when I learned about detachment and about emotional detachment, and what an opposing force that is to intimacy. So if you find yourself in a relationship where you're having to practice a huge amount of emotional detachment, I'm talking particularly for a romantic relationship, chances are that relationship will completely break down at some point, because emotional detachment and intimacy are polar opposites. And for a romantic relationship to survive and to thrive and love, there needs to be verbal intimacy. Now, some may say, well, that's not true. It depends on your love language, and we can get into that. I love the love languages, the 5 love languages. I can't remember the name of the guy that wrote the book, but it's fabulous. I personally believe that these languages, each person's identified love language is born in their upbringing. Maybe it connects to things that they didn't get when they were young, and the love from their family that they wish they had, and so now they want to get it from their partner. But the 5 love languages, verbal affirmation, gifts, quality time, physical touch, and why am I forgetting number 5? Well, never mind, you can look it up. So, acts of service. Acts of service, which is actually not one of my love languages. But so you could say, oh, well, I don't need my partner to tell me that they love me, or, for them to, tell me I'm beautiful, or to use words, say their truth or whatever to connect with me. I know because they do this or they do that. Like, I feel it in other ways. And that's completely legitimate. However, yeah, I mean, we all have our own love language. You might feel that you're loved. It's love language is about what makes you feel loved. So you might feel that you're loved just by physical touch, or spending quality time, or getting a gift. Those things might make you feel loved. And somebody else might need words, verbal affirmation to feel loved. So we're all different. It's good to take a look at that and see which one is yours, and discuss that with your partner. So, yeah, how did I get into the five love languages? Oh, well, either way, regardless of that, and that is completely legitimate, the love languages. But when there are problems, when there is a breakdown within the relationship, when you get your feelings hurt, if you're not at least saying ouch, You know, if you're getting your feelings hurt, if your partner or friend has hurt your feelings, even if it's based on a misunderstanding, if you're not at least saying ouch, if people aren't like coming together and, cleaning it up, these things sort of rust away at the solid nature of a relationship over time. And so, you know, if there's conflict inside you about the relationship, if you're, in between your ears, there's junk going on about the relationship, if you're not finding a safe and sane way to bring it up to your partner in a civil, loving way and get it cleared up, that just eats away at things over time. So, and that's what I call withholding information. It could be love, it could be anger, it could be forgiveness, it could be a number of things, but just withholding. And it can be scary. Everybody knows that, telling the truth is sometimes scary. Actually, it's scarier for some than others. It isn't scary for me, but I know plenty of people who it's scary for, and that's okay. So they can be practiced. So maybe you've heard this, oh, well, we'll rehearse it. Maybe a therapist or a friend said, well, let's role play it before you have to have this like high stakes, important conversation where you're outing yourself about something to your partner or your friend to try to, make it better and build the intimacy back or whatever, or stay in flow and intimacy. And then you can practice it. And in fact, it's advised, because that fear you have, that anger you have, that whatever the emotions are that are connected to what you're thinking, what you're withholding, that's going to be a tension that we can have not there if you practice with somebody. So you can sit down a friend and sort of practice what you want to say. And then when you go to say it to the person that needs to hear it, it feels a little easier, I mean, there's practices for a reason, right? So you can prepare and then come to the table or come to your relationship in a good headspace and feeling a little safer, feeling a little less scared, and like you can actually take care of it. So, yeah, I think one of the reasons that men and women in relationship with each other or, romantic relationships are in conflict and in disharmony is because this is happening a lot. People are not saying what they need to say. They're withholding a lot. And so I say, cut it out. Do whatever you got to do to get it, because it just builds up. And anyway, you get it. So that's, I don't know, part 4 of my series. I don't know what number we're on now, but I'm sitting in my car waiting for the rain to stop. So I figured this would be a good time to record. And thank you for listening. And please subscribe to the channel. And thank you for all the ways you support. I will see you next time.